Hello, I'm Michael Warth, and this is the. All right, let's start it over.
Why? That was great.
No, it was not. You put cameras up, and it's like all of a sudden things just get stupid.
See, this is why it's fun, though. This is why we have a good time. This is what people want to hear.
All right, we're gonna do this. All right,
let's be real serious.
I know, because I've got some difficult things to say here, and you're gonna go, what? All right, so I'm gonna give you a little bit.
Oh, just a tiny bit.
Just a little bit, because you're not gonna like this.
Oh well, that's not what that is. Well, see, that's way too much already.
No,
Yeah,
you gotta get it in your system.
An exceptionally aromatic blend of hops combined in this balanced interpretation.
And I would love to tell everybody listening, if you're into beer, that I actually know the secret blend of hops, but I do not. The only thing I can tell you is it has Simcoe hops in it. That's one of them. They do a series of hop procedures. What do you think of that?
I don't hate it as much as I expected you to think that I would hate it, but no, it's okay. I mean, I don't
have it in a glass.
It ain't that. That's for sure.
I love it. I think it's just really good. I mean, you can't get around it.
It don't taste as much like I'm drinking out of a pine cone as some of the other ones. It tastes like it was laying next to a pine cone, maybe, but not quite.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like it.
bad.
I like it because it grows on you too. It really does. It's a good beer. Really good beer. In the theme of the show, just going with it, I want to just get away from the gear a little bit and have a good conversation.
Yeah, that's why I got away from it early on. It's just more like we're just hanging out.
Yeah.
Really. If I get all this in, I feel like that I'm
in a cave.
It's just I'm performing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I just try to be real when we're.
I like to try to hear it though, because I can dial it in a little bit. You know. Again, just go with it. Just fucking let it go. Right.
That's a big part of my philosophy.
This is very hard. I feel like I'm running naked now.
Take your shirt off. You got cameras and stuff.
Yeah, the camera. They don't want to see this. No. I've been working hard on this, you know.
I think at the end of the day, and we've talked about this in an earlier podcast, is you gotta, all this gear and all the things around you and all this technology, it has to work for you. It has to be the wind that inflates your sails. It cannot be the end all and be all. And you're a big time gearhead, and I think you go through spurts where you just get so gear intensive that you're in that you forget to be the artist because you're too busy being a techie. And there's nothing wrong with being. I love gear. I love technology. I love new things. I love new basses. I love new pickups. I love new, bass pickups, guitar pickups. I love new strings. This is made with new technology. Whatever, this is whatever. But at the end of the day, anything that you're going to do, you will be able to do with the minimum amount that you have to. I mean, really. So
I think we put too much emphasis on having everything just right.
Yeah.
As far as our gear goes. When do you take advice from somebody on gear? I mean,
always listen to advice. Take the advice. That's a little bit different. It depends. It's like a good example I can think of offhand is my mic choice. I've been using the Beta 57 live and in the studio forever. I would have never used one of those for a vocal mic, not thinking. It's basically the same guts as the 58. It's just got a different screen, basically, for the instrument mic. But the Beta has got some kind of different shit in it than the regulars do, but I don't know. But Brian Muth, guy that I've worked with, produced several metal albums that I was involved in, really good friend. Really great bass player. I got my first 5-string because he recommended Carvin. He played Carvin. I gave it a chance, and that's one of my favorite instruments. Same way at the mic. He was running sound at one of our shows, and I sang through that at a show, and I love that 57. I bought one. That's been my main mic for years. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong if you see the value in it. If you're taking advice just because somebody tells you you should be doing it this way,
Hmm.
and you don't necessarily see the value in it, then you're taking advice for the wrong reason. But if you do listen to somebody's opinion that you respect and you see the results that they're getting and you think it can help you, then you should certainly take it or at least explore it. But you should never take somebody's advice just because they tell you to do it. At the end of not at this. If you're a doctor or if you're a lawyer going through contracts or any of
Right.
this kind of
Right.
thing, that's different. Art ultimately comes from you, and it's got to be your choice and your decision. If you're making art for somebody else, then you're you're just a you're just making widgets just like anybody else.
Exactly. I was hoping when you were talking about that, I'd be able to explain this for people listening. The SM57 that he's referring to, you're actually talking about the beta.
Yeah.
The beta is a little more expensive. It's got some other things added to it. I found in our recording when you use it, your 57 is about 10 dBs hotter at the same input gain as a 58, just a regular 58. I would say it's probably 10 dBs hotter than a regular 57 as well. But you're right. The guts, even of the SM7B that I'm using here and the SM58 that you're using there, they have the same guts. I plan so much that I almost feel like it has to be already done before I start. Like everything has to
Mhm.
be there. And I'm not talking just the podcast. I'm talking like painting, um, a vacation. I'm anal about that. It's like there's an agenda for a vacation, and it really shouldn't be that way. I should be able to just pack a bag and show up, right?
That's why I think why we're a good team because I'm the exact opposite. I don't want to plan that kind of stuff. I like to
Hmm.
leave a lot of room for improvisation. I like to plan the bullet points maybe, and whether it's a vacation or a trip or whatever. I mean, I'm planning a vacation right now, and I have no idea where I'm going to go or what I'm going to do. I might drive to Vegas. I might ride the motorcycle to Wyoming. Might go back down to Daytona and see Chris. I
Yeah,
don't know yet, and
yeah,
then I'll just do it. It's not a you got to leave some room for the fun to happen. If I
yeah,
wanted to be regimented, I'd just go to work.
yeah. I get that. I'm not saying that I don't enjoy a lot of it, but
And I'm not saying planning's all bad either, but I
right,
think
right, right. Yeah,
you just get
there's a
to
balance, maybe.
exactly. It's the same way with music or art or I don't think you can if you plan it all out, where's the magic going to happen? That's one thing that's always been important in bands that I've been in and I've been lucky to play with musicians that were kind of like-minded a lot of times and where even if you got a song that is totally worked out, when you go in the studio, you got to leave just 2% there just in case something different will
Yeah,
happen. And
yeah,
sometimes the studio is its own instrument, and sometimes
yeah,
something will fall out. It's like, okay, that's cool. And, or, man, I can really hear all these parts better now. What if I tried this? You got to leave a little room for the magic to happen,
yeah.
or you're just punching a clock again.
Have a compass point. Look at where you want to go with something. And maybe if you're not technically there yet, try to find points along the way that get you technically where you want to go.
Hmm.
Gear wise, same thing. If there's things you want to be able to do that you don't think you can do with your current gear, have a plan in place to say, okay, along my journey, I'm going to pick up one of these, I'm going to grab one of these. And that's really what I did with this podcast.
Hmm.
Early on, I didn't have a budget for a good recorder, nice microphones, things like that. So
Software.
yeah, software. I actually went with a Zoom H4n. It was just a cheap recorder. You can get them for under $250. That I guess that's not really cheap, but you get the idea.
In the grand
In
scheme of it.
record, yeah, yeah, in recorders it is. Um, and then microphones, I went with the SM58 because they were cheaper than the 7B. Even though I don't want to say all my friends, but a lot of people were kind of pushing me towards the SM7B, and I like the 7B. I really do. It's perfect for me because I can put it on my stand, keep it on um, my boom arm on my desk, and move it out of the way. I use it for voiceover and a lot of things that I do recording voice,
Mm-hmm.
and I like it. It does get out of the way. I can get it close to my mouth, and it's good enough. You know.
It's got cool looking things on the back too. So.
Yeah, there's some EQ. You can kind of tailor the EQ a little bit of how it receives audio,
Mm,
but I still keep it flat because I like to do all that in post.
right.
I just do. I mean, and we didn't use this before either, but I use a lot of signal processors on our audio before it ever gets to the recorder.
Mm-hmm.
That they're not necessary at all, but what it does for me is it speeds up the edit because it's already done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know what we need to do to get a decent sound.
But
Plus,
you're
cuts
letting it
things
work
out.
for you though. See, that's different.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. So that's kind of thing there. Yeah, just kind of have a compass point, so to speak.
Besides all that, I guess my question's more focused towards a certain, a painting that you spent a lot of time on, or maybe a shot that you were working on as a photographer, or a gig that you did when you were playing. Is there anything
Hmm.
that sticks out in your mind that you really put a lot into and it just did not work? No matter what, it did not work, and you just had to
Oh
scrap and
yeah,
move on to
yeah,
something else. And what did
yeah.
you learn from that?
I did a gig with and I'm going to mention them because I don't care. I did a gig with Brewdog Brewery.
Oh yeah.
They came to Canal Winchester, and they're a Scottish brewery, and they wanted to open an American brewery here in the USA. And we got together, we hooked up, and it was, I'm going to take these pictures and do the thing. And all the windows faced south in that building.
And I remember you were pumped. I remember
Oh yeah,
this.
yeah. I was all over it. I was ready to quit my job and be a full time. If they would bring me on to just do that, that's what I would
Mhm.
do. And it really took the wind out of my sails because uh, I'm not going to go into the details on different people, but it just nothing clicked.
It was a bad experience.
It was a very bad experience, and the lighting. Uh, for anyone who's uninitiated, north light is good light. South light in the northern hemisphere is light. It changes every minute. And I was trying to get shots that they wanted in a lighting situation that changed rapidly. And they weren't quite ready for me. I wasn't quite ready for the stuff they wanted. Things just weren't clicking. We weren't getting along. Uh, it also fell into the whole I met someone I really wanted to know, and they turned out to be a dick. And nothing against Brewdog, I guess, but I don't think
Yes.
James and I would get along outside of anything else. And it's a shame too because we both like beer, we both enjoy beer. I think we get along on that. But I think as human beings, I don't think him and I would get along very well. And I know he's not going to listen to this, and if he does, James, whatever it is,
Fuck you, James. That's how I feel about it. And you can
yeah.
take that to the bank.
As he looks to the
So,
camera.
what did you learn from that? I mean, what was your biggest takeaway from
I-
that, and how did that affect your next
Well,
project?
number one, never take a job for less money simply because you want to do it. They were well under my daily rate, and I only did it because it was Brewdog. And we're talking commercial photography here, and I don't want to give any numbers out, but it was significantly lower than what anyone should charge.
Why you a cheapskate, James?
Right. And planning, in that respect, planning and asking the right questions was
Mhm.
my fault. And this is where commercial photographers do have to plan quite a bit because you've got a lot of expenses there. You don't want to waste time, and I wasted time. Honestly, there was things that if I would have asked questions wouldn't have happened. If I would have done a site preview before the show, before actually doing the gig, would have been handled had I planned better. It was a time in my life when things weren't really good for me. It was a lot of fly by night, a lot of oh crap, this is going on. I'll put this aside because I got a job to do. And, personal life kind of got in there a little bit too. But yeah, it really, it burgered things up for me. And in fact, it actually changed a lot of what I was doing. It really redirected me back to art because I was like, I'm an artist. I'm not a commercial photographer. I'm not an editorial photographer. And at the time, I was doing a lot of concert footage, writing for a small magazine and doing different things. And life as a creative was starting to really come down hard on me. Like, I don't belong in this. And it really crapped on my dreams. And the only thing that existed still was my painting. It was the one thing I was really good at that, and I know it sounds arrogant, but I think I'm better at painting than I am anything else that I do.
Jocko said it's not bragging if you can back it up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's people that hate my work too, but for what it's worth, I don't care. You're going to have that.
Well, that's good. If everybody likes it, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah. I don't like Jackson Pollock, but he made
or
more money.
Nickelback.
Yeah, they made more money than I ever have doing what they do. I mean,
they drive by on their bus and throw money out.
I know.
That we'd love.
I know. I want them to start picking on me so I'll be famous. And Jackson's dead, so I mean, if he picked on me, it'd be fantastic.
That'd be a different show for sure.
Yeah. Did I answer your question?
You did.
All right. Hi, Mike here. If you want to listen to the entire episode, uncut and uncensored, follow the link in the description below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.